Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow students, Professor Meehan. My name is Brian Travis, and this is my review of Zig Ziglar's See You at the Top. See You at the Top is well known as one of the best-selling motivational books of the late 20th century. However, it's not just a motivational book. What this book is a book about life, about living, and about how your decisions interact with others and how to treat other people as you'd want to be treated. So many wonderful ideas in this book, it's almost hard to narrow it down to just a few. But one of them is found on page 239, where it says, when you sow an action, you reap a habit. When you reap a habit, you reap a character. And when you sow a character, you reap a destiny. The logic is simple. Logic will not change emotions. Action will change emotions. How you behave, not just towards other people, but towards yourself. Positive self-image is one of the most important things, but not just an inflated, puffed up, I am the great I am type of image, but no, an image based upon recognizing that each individual person is given their own God-given blessed talents, opportunities, strong points, and weak points. We're not all astronauts. We're not all football players. We're not all mathematicians. We're not all scientists. But we are all human beings, endowed by a set of rights by our Creator. We didn't put ourselves here, as Mr. Ziglar said, but we sure have the right to do the best we can while we are here. Among the many other pieces of advice that Mr. Ziglar gives is that you can get anything you want in this life if you're willing to help enough other people get what they want. He says this in an honest and sincere manner. When he says about getting things you want, he doesn't mean simply by taking. As Mr. Ziglar puts it, he said sometimes there are things that you have to do in order to get to the things you want to do. Things you have to do, such as quality schooling, time on the job, practice. As Mr. Ziglar says elsewhere in this book, he said repetition is the mother of learning. And for anybody who's ever been through an algebra class, or an English class, or any other classes in college, it is indeed true that repetition is the mother of learning. I highly recommend this book to just about any audience because of the fact that this book transcends race, it transcends age, it transcends gender, and it transcends culture. It's not about an individual's sales, even though that this was written for salesmen and women. It's about an individual's life and how he or she makes an impact for better or for worse. There's also another good story in here on page 222 through 223 called Kicking the Cat. It's a story that talks about how one person's actions affects another's in a chain reaction. Now you may wonder why I chose to do this video outside. Well, one of the best pieces of advice that Mr. Ziglar gives is that when things start getting uptight inside, you need to get up and get outside. Whether it's a beautiful sunny day like today or a day full of rain and clouds. When you get outside, you remind yourself, and it helps remind you that you're not trapped inside of a little building. You weren't made to be a bug trapped inside of a piece of glass. You're a human being. You're a thoughtful, considerate man or woman. And that outside is where the opportunities are. That the opportunities on the outside can only get there if you're willing to open yourself up from the inside. Thank you for your time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and have a good evening.